Have you ever wondered what's it like to have a watch that syncs itself automatically with atomic clocks? If you live in India, can you still make a radio controlled watch behave like it's synchronized? Could a solar powered chronograph with a perpetual calendar be your everyday companion? What if one watch handles time zone across the globe and still stays precise? And most importantly, will this watch actually live on my wrist or ends up in a drawer? If those questions got you hooked, stay with me. I wore this Citizen Promaster radio controlled for days, and I'll tell you everything I liked, disliked, and found annoying. Hello and welcome back to our channel, Wristworthy. I'm your host Mohit, and today I'm reviewing the Citizen CB5925-82X, the Promaster radio controlled watch. And let's find out if it really earns a spot on your wrist. In my opinion, Citizen is one of the most underrated watch brands out there. Eco-Drive and radio controlled are two standout features. Citizen is one of the very few brands that truly doubles down on solar powered and radio controlled technology. In fact, I'd say Citizen probably makes more radio controlled watches than anyone else out there. No other brand has invested this deeply in perfecting these techs. So there is a sense of legacy and innovation behind the Citizen's name. Today, Citizen still holds its ground. They compete strongly with other brands. Compared to some brands that charge a lot just for name, Citizen tends to offer features in a more accessible package. Now let's check the dimensions quickly. The case diameter is about 42.3 mm with a thickness of 13.9 mm and the lug width is 22 mm. So you will have multiple strap options available, like I tried it with this canvas strap. On paper, it's not a small watch, but it's definitely not this either. It will stand out, but it's still wearable on average wrist sizes. The retail price of the watch is £599, which is about $790 US or 70,000 Indian rupees, and you can find it lower during sale period. This is black iron plated steel version with a green dial. This is one awesome combo. The other colorways options are green dial with stainless steel finish, black dial with black case and leather strap, black dial with stainless steel finish, and there is a titanium version of the watch is also available. I'll put down the links in the description below. In this range, you've got Seiko SSC813, the speed timer of Seiko Solar Chronos. The Seiko has sapphire crystal and slightly slimmer profile, and it is solar powered, but it lacks radio control and perpetual calendar feature. So if you're after precision tech, Citizen wins by a mile. Casio's G-Shock Tough Solar is a very strong contender. While Citizen leans toward elegance and modern polish, the G-Shock is all about rugged functionality. It competes well with Citizen on every front except the glass. While Citizen has sapphire glass with AR coating, Casio uses mineral glass. But I would like to give the edge to the Casio, as there is a huge price difference between these two. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a full video on this G-Shock. The watch is a head turner. The first thing that grabs your attention is that deep forest green dial with those white accents. The sunburst finish catches light beautifully, and every flick of your wrist gives it a slightly different shade. The subdials are neatly laid out. They look very busy as there is a lot going on, but honestly, that's where you start to appreciate Citizen's attention to detail. It's surprisingly well organized. The indices are applied and filled with lume. The watch packs in both an alarm and chronograph function, which you can toggle using the 6 o'clock subdial. That's basically a control center for switching between functions. Over on the left subdial, you've got 24-hour time display, while the right subdial handles the day of the week, battery level, and even the daylight saving on a function. Down at 4 o'clock, there is a frameless date window, and if you look closely, the chapter ring is slightly raised and marked with GMTR indicators to help when switching between time zones. Between 11 and 1 o'clock, you will notice small markings for signal reception. That's where the magic of this radio controlled system happens. By default, the watch tries to sync with the atomic signal every night at 2 AM. If the sync fails, the second hand moves to no, but when successful, the second hand moves to OK. A small but satisfying nod of confirmation. The RX position lets you manually trigger the signal reception yourself. On 7 and 8 position, you'll spot tiny on-off labels. These control the alarm function. The hour and minute hands are partially skeletonized, filled generously with luminescent paint, and here are the lume shots for you. The case itself feels solid, matte finish stainless steel case with black PVD coating. The push and pull crown is textured and signed with Promaster logo, and it is protected by these grooves. The pushers are neatly aligned and have a solid feel. It's all well machined and feels premium to operate. The case shape leans slightly toward a pilot style chrono. The fixed bezel makes the dial feel larger and more open. Flip it over and you'll find a solid case back with engraved world time map, a neat nod to its multi-zone capabilities. It's a shame that it's not a screw-down type. Even with this, the watch is 200-meter water resistant. The bracelet here is a 3-link stainless steel setup, black PVD coated. Solid end links, good heft, and surprisingly smooth on edges. It wraps the wrist nicely without any pinches. The clasp is a fold-over with a safety lock, and it feels reliable. However, I'll admit that out of the box, it does feel a bit heavy. If you're coming from a lightweight quads or a leather strap watch, you'll feel the difference immediately. But give it a day or two and it starts to feel just right. And thank you Citizen for giving us the option of micro-adjusting the watch with 3 micro-adjustment holes. If we talk about movement, you've got Citizen's EcoDrive E660 movement. It's solar powered, so you will never need a battery change. It's radio controlled too, meaning it can automatically sync time through atomic signals if you're in Japan, USA, Germany, China, and UK. Since we are in India, there's a twist. You can't directly receive the radio signals here, but you can trick the watch into syncing via JJY emulator app. Basically, your phone plays the same signal tone the watch listens for, and it syncs to atomic accuracy here in India. It's a little nerdy, but very cool once you pull it off. The chronograph works beautifully, and it also features a perpetual calendar, so you don't have to worry about month-end adjustments. So here are the pros and cons. Now that we have gone through the specs, it's time to try this on and find out if it is wrist-worthy or not. The moment I strapped it on, I felt that signature Citizen comfort, solid and balanced. The dial has a definite presence, but it doesn't feel oversized or awkward. It sits comfortably on my medium-sized wrist with just enough heft to remind you that it's a proper tool watch. The bracelet drapes nicely. It may take a day or two to get used to if you were using leather straps before. There is one downside, that the pushers do not provide any clickety-clackety feedback even when using the chronograph function. On the wrist, it feels professional. It's got that dependable everyday charm. You can wear it to work, on a casual meet, and maybe on international trips. After wearing it for a few days, I can confidently say this. It's a daily wear powerhouse. The lume is bright and lasts long enough to read in low light. And the EcoDrive tech means you are basically maintenance free. The Sapphire crystal is clear and anti-reflective treatment helps a lot under bright sunlight. The black and green combo looks quite good on the wrist. Performance-wise, this thing is beast. Even without radio syncing, the EcoDrive quartz movement stays insanely accurate. We are talking seconds off per month. When synced through the emulator, it's pinpoint precise. It handles time zone automatically too. You can switch regions with a simple crown operation and it adjusts the time and date instantly. Now, it's not all sunshine. The radio control feature feels underused in India. You can only make the use of it with that emulator hack. So here's my honest take. The Citizen CB5925 is one of those watches that quietly flexes. It's got brains, brawn, and that EcoDrive heart that just keeps going. You get alarm, chronograph, perpetual calendar, radio-controlled accuracy, and solar charging all rolled into one beautiful watch. On the wrist, it looks decent and wears reasonably well. The price might feel a bit high, but if you get it on discount, it becomes a more compelling option. In conclusion, the Promaster isn't just another shiny gadget. It's a statement of what modern watchmaking can be when done right. It blends practicality with precision, tech with taste. Every glance at that green dial reminds you that Citizen knows exactly what they are doing. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Especially if you are someone who loves function-driven watches. It's dependable, confident, and has that wear me everyday soul that's surprisingly rare today. Sure, it has its small misses, but those fade into the background once you live with it. What remains is a reliable companion that never needs a battery, rarely needs adjusting, and always looks good doing its job. So if you've been hunting for a daily wear chronograph that balances brains and beauty, this Citizen deserves a spot on your wish list. And maybe, just maybe, on your wrist. And to answer the question I asked at the beginning, this watch will actually live on your wrist and not going to end up in your drawer. That's been my full experience with the Citizen Promaster CB5925. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Wristworthy if you are into watches. Tell me in the comments what's your take on solar and radio controlled watches. Would you pick this one over a Seiko? Let me know. I'm Mohit, and as always, keep it classy and stay wrist worthy.